and I welcome you to this podcast. Since we are surrounded by such depressing news all the time these days, today I want to talk about all the positive changes we've been seeing in the nature and the environment around us since the lockdown has been imposed. And I'm joined by Miss Ambrina Khan, who is an environmentalist and an assistant professor of environmental science at Amity University. She'll be discussing this topic with us. So, before we were hit by this pandemic, the whole world was dealing with drastically increasing levels of pollution. New Delhi was even declared as the most polluted city in the world in 2014 by the World Health Organization. But within a week of the imposition of the lockdown, the concentration of the particulate matter in air decreased by 71%. So, ma'am, what do you think is the reason that this short period of lockdown has shown us so many positive changes, whereas years of human efforts turned futile?
This happened because, see, we are a very, very populated country. We already know that, we are almost 140 crores in numbers. And to meet the need of the people or the need of the population, we've been doing development. We are doing so much of activities that are contributing to the pollution. So when this lockdown happened, all of a sudden there is a decrease in emission of these pollutants into the nature. So all of a sudden, when there are like lakhs and lakhs people who are traveling on the roads of Delhi every day, and they are now being shut down in their homes, so the air is automatically reflecting the impact, and that impact is the cleaner air. So the major impact or the major thing that happened after this pandemic or the coronavirus COVID-19 is the movement of the humans has been restricted. So what happened? There is a less pressure on the nature. There is less release of pollutants in the nature, and the restoration of environment is so visible. We can talk in the terms of air, where it is so visible that nature is reclaiming its space, nature is restoring itself, and the major changes that we can see is in the aquatic body.
Exactly, I was reading this that the Uttarakhand Pollution Control Board, they tested some water from the Har Ki Pauri in Haridwar, and after so many decades, that water has been classified as fit for drinking after chlorination.
Absolutely, absolutely. Why? Because see, when the industries are closed down, there is no release of effluent into the water body. Let's take the example of Yamuna. Yamuna is the biggest example of the ecosystem restoration in Delhi because it was a gutter. There were 36 drains, pouring its effluent from the different industries into that river, and there are crores and crores of rupees, have been spent in cleaning Ganges and Yamuna, but there was no significant result we have found so far. But just the lockdown has helped these two rivers to restore, and of course the Uttarakhand case study that you are mentioning to me. So what is happening? When the industries are stopped, there is no release of effluent. Effluent is a wastewater that we release from the industry. So when the industries are not working, the effluents have not been given out into the rivers.
Here, I would like to ask you that the lockdown is surely ensuring that more waste does not get dumped into the rivers. But what about the waste which is already present in the rivers? How does that get cleaned?
Okay. There is a term known as restoration capacity.
Okay.
When there is a river and you are putting your effluent into it, then you should give it a time to actually dissolve that effluent. There should be enough water. There should be enough water into the river so that it can cleanse that system. Every natural system is self-cleansing. You leave the waste into the nature, it will cleanse it. You leave anything into the nature and it will disperse into the nature, and you would never know कि कहाँ गया.
Not only nature, but the animal life is also getting affected by this lockdown. After 30 long years, Ganga dolphins were seen at the Kolkata Ghat. The number of flamingos seen in Mumbai during this part of the year has gone up significantly. So, how do you think this lockdown is affecting the animals?
First, we have affected their lives.
Right.
In this rat race of development, we have just destroyed the habitat of animals. We have encroached into the habitat of these animals. We have cut down forests. We have completely destroyed the vegetation. So, what will these animals do? Either they are hiding or they are coming into the civilized areas where they have been hunted down and they've been killed. These Ganges dolphins are very sensitive animals. When there is too much of dirt, where they're not able to breathe, these fishes, they breathe inside the water. When there is no oxygen, when there is no dissolved oxygen, there is high concentration of chemicals and contaminants in the water, they will definitely migrate to some areas. Talking about the flamingos, now the beaches are clear. There is no interference of humans. They are feeling secure. They are returning to their habitat. And I must mention over here the olive regli turtles. They have
Right.
after 7 years. How? Why after lockdown these turtles have returned? Because nature has its symphony.
And it is very interesting to see that how years and years of damage is being repaired in this short period of time.
Exactly. I think this is the time when the human species should realize that there is a balance in the nature and we should maintain it. There is a space of every single individual, and when I'm saying individual, I mean the animals, I mean the birds, I mean the little ant that you see in your garden, because every species of this planet owns their place. It does not belong to us. It does not belong to human beings. We are animals, because see what a virus can do this to this whole humans. It is very clearly visible. People
Very
are dying
clearly.
like anything. But a single virus, which is not even visible to our naked eyes, could make a difference. That is actually our value to this planet.
Do you think that all these positive changes we are seeing during this lockdown period, will they continue to be visible after the lockdown is opened, or we'll go back to our old ways?
Uh, we should not go back to our old ways. We should realize that we have to make our system such a way that whatever emission, whatever effluent that is going into the nature, whatever solid waste, whatever liquid waste we are generating, we should control it. We should, mark a boundary, or we should mark a limit that we will do up to this, where it should not harm the nature, or it should not harm the other species of the nature. We should control our needs. We should control our greed.
So, this is the only way forward one sees from here. Unless we put our old practices to check, we'll never be able to move towards a better world.
Never, never, never. Because see, what as an environmentalist, I always believe that development and nature cannot go hand in hand. We cannot stop development. The idea is not to stop development, but we could go for a sustainable development. We could sustain development for a longer period of time. Development should not be human centric, it should be environment centric. We have to bring things to the balance.
Definitely, this balance between humans and nature is very important. Thank you so much, ma'am, for talking to us about this. It was a pleasure talking to you.
Same here, same here. Thank you.
So, with that hopeful note, we come to the end of this podcast. That's all for this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is me, Arushi Mohindra, signing off.